Are we back?
We're back.
Hey,
We're back here in Studio A. My name's Moose. We got Chad, Drew, Liz in the booth, and it's pot talk time.
Hell yeah, it is. Excited as always this week. We bring you Dustin from CanPay. Check out CanPayApp.com. What's up, Dustin? How are you, man?
How's it going, guys?
So you are here on the only week, probably in the last 6 weeks, where it hasn't been sunny and beautiful.
Yeah, well, when I live in Seattle, I kind of expect it to follow me everywhere.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
You totally did. It's like the snow came in with you, and it's going to leave with you, from what they say.
Yeah, if it's gray, it feels like home.
So tell folks at home that might not have heard of CanPay what CanPay is.
All right, so CanPay is a legitimate debit payment tool for the cannabis industry.
Hell yeah.
So we built it specifically for the industry. As probably everybody knows, there's a lot of challenges around banking.
There is.
And so we developed some relationships with banks that are actually legitimately banking the industry. And they wanted us to build a product that their dispensaries and the customers of the dispensaries could use.
Right.
So where are these banks? Because they seem to be ghosts.
Yeah, there's a pretty common story out there that there is no banking, and I would say it's more quietly banked than there is no banking. So with the Cole Memo and FinCEN guidance, which were issued in February of 2014, they actually provided federal guidance on how to bank the industry. Very few institutions have taken it on, but we've actually got relationships in somewhere around 10 states right now that are legitimately banking the industry.
Now, see, this is huge because, ever since I got into the industry, I remember walking out of my first dispensary, and I had 4 guys that were way bigger than me with a briefcase with cash and a briefcase with a little bit of weed that I had left, getting into a car, running somewhere, trying to figure out. I remember along the way there's been banks. No, we don't want to name any in particular, but one of them, the initials is WF. You can figure that one out. But they definitely took some cash, had some weird times with some folks within the industry that were trying to get their banking problem resolved.
Yeah. So we've seen it go as far as if your name is on a license, they'll close down your other business interests, your personal accounts, your family's accounts, because they don't want to touch the cannabis money at all.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you guys, in the case of something like that happen, or maybe in the case of any kind of a government immediate impact, do you guys have some kind of an escrow holding where you can keep money for a couple days before or after it goes to the bank so that there's not somebody getting shut out from their money?
No, that would actually make us a target, and that's something different that we do that some of the other options out there don't do. We're not holding the money at all. This is our solution is a direct transfer from the consumer or patient to the dispensary, so that money gets there faster, and it's their money. There's no action against us will cause their money not to arrive. Now, if the federal government rescinds the Cole Memo and FinCEN guidance and the banks have to get out, then certainly the service could come to an end. But at that point, the dispensaries have a lot bigger concern than whether their legitimate payment option is functioning or not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, and one of the things that I really appreciate within your organization and how you guys are doing it is that it's really awesome for the customer or the patient. It's easy peasy for them.
Yeah, so we actually went the route of a mobile app to enable the transaction to happen. It allows us to be more secure, and it allows us to actually sign people up quicker and get them paying quicker so that they can use it. So instead of issuing another type of card that you have to carry in your wallet, it's just a simple app from CanPayApp.com.
I got it.
There
I got
it is.
it on my phone.
That's it.
Dude, I have used CanPay. I absolutely love it. There's a lot of great things that they do on the back end for you in regards to giving you a digital receipt. I know that they give you a monthly statement, just like a normal bill. I know that I've had issues where something got rang up wrong at the store, and it was charged the wrong way, and it was resolved instantaneously. I really love the fact that the problem went away. You guys took care of it. So I think the ease for the customer to be able to use it is higher or above and beyond than anything I've seen so far in the industry.
So, real quick, walk us through the way it works from the customer. So you download the app.
Yeah,
You
from
link it to your bank
CanPayApp.com.
app.
CanPayApp.com.
Because Apple rejected our app because we were transparent with them that this would be used in the cannabis industry. So if you tell them that you're going to be in the cannabis industry, that as an app, as a payment tool, they will not allow you in their store. So we actually built a website that acts and operates like an app. That's why you go to CanPayApp.com, save it to your home screen, and then once you have it on your home screen, you can see that it looks and feels just like an app. You log in. Every time you log in, it creates a unique payment PIN for that single purchase. So we could pull up a PIN right now. It's a QR code. You scan it into the I can do it.
I got it right here, man.
Okay.
My email loads up quickly. You put in your PIN number, just like you would your debit card.
And it's linked to your bank account.
It's
linked
totally
to your
linked
checking account.
to my
Yep.
checking account. When I first got in, it was a little bit more of a rigmarole trying to get through it all. There's been a lot of bugs that have been figured out. If you haven't checked it out, I'd say in the last few months you're missing out. You didn't get the right taste on the whole thing. But basically, you log in with the debit card PIN just like you would. You actually have to pull it up. In the shop, this is one of the only things that we allow in the shop for you to use your cell phone with is to pull it up. Gives you a QR code, gives you another code that the bud tender can put in, and it goes right out of your bank account.
So the fact, if you had your credit card right now and you showed the cameras that number, your card would be used all over the place.
Totally.
So the thing about the CanPay app is that's a single-use token, and it expires in a short period of time.
It does.
That it can't be used again either way. So if you use it or it expires. And so if he wanted to make a second payment in the store after you make the first, you back out and log back in, and it generates another payment PIN for you to give to the bud tender.
And it's so secure that I can actually show it here on live, and it's really not like anybody that's watching at home. It's gonna queue out before anybody would even be able to get to a dispensary and use that one. It's so unique for that one purchase.
Right. Yeah, we don't have to go back and edit that out.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. That's
Pretty
awesome.
cool, right?
Yeah, so you download the app, you create your account and link it to your checking account. And then we have to verify that you are who you say you are and that you own that account. And for most people, the total sign up process takes around 4 to 5 minutes, and they're approved, and they can go and make a payment right then and there.
Yep.
Cool.
The nice thing also is that they give you $250 a day to be able to use, which usually covers a good ounce, maybe, which is, it's going to get you to your limits. Even as a medical patient, the $250 for the most part is going to cover you.
You do need to have that money in your account, though.
Yeah, it's not just free money.
And no one needs to be spending more than that on weed in one day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where are we, Denver?
Right, yeah. Happens all the time, right? Now, it's been cool to have you around because I know that you, in the straight-laced banking area of the whole industry, have to help us in ways overcome this problem that doesn't have an easy solution to it at all. What do you think 2017 is going to have on that?
Well, interesting. We actually made some predictions early on in the year, just trying to throw out what we've heard about banking, and we do believe that legitimate banking for the industry is going to expand. And this doesn't directly affect the patients and the consumers because they have their own banking and whatnot, and they can go in and use their debit card at the ATM machine or whatever, go to the ATM, pull money out. Right. But from the consumer, or from the business side, to not have a bank account, to not be able to accept some kind of electronic payment or pay your employees in something other than cash, it's a big deal. And then that actually translates out to the patient or consumer experience as well. So we think legitimate banking is going to expand. And we're seeing that already as more and more markets come online. We're seeing it in markets that we hadn't seen it at all before November of last year, with some of the momentum going on, and even with some of the mixed messages that are being spoken at the federal level. There are still financial institutions that are willing to take on the risk and the compliance to go and build out that program. And from our standpoint, it's great because those legitimate banks are looking for a transparent payment option. Back to us, back to CanPay, one of the things that we do that signifies or shows the legitimacy of the solution is that when you make a purchase in a dispensary, that purchase shows up on your statement as the DBA name of the business. It's not hidden behind an obscure legal entity name that you don't recognize. If you go to Burger King and it's Joe's 123 on your statement, you think somebody stole your card and went and bought something for $10.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
So we are legitimate. It is in the business's DBA name, which means that we're not hiding it from anyone. And there's no intermediary. There's no third party. It's not in CanPay's name.
Right.
And so, we want people to be aware of that because the industry has so long been in the shadows,
right,
and not been able to do business transparently.
And that's a huge point right there. If you missed out, I remember right when rec happened and trying to be able to get debit purchases. I mean, people were coming from all over the nation, all over the world, really, to be able to get their weed, and they didn't always have the cash. They always wanted to do the debit card thing. Like a couple of businessmen would come in, they'd buy their $200, $300 worth of weed, whatever their limit was at the time, and then by the time they got home, their wife would see their statement. And we used to have it called, I think it was like Confluence something or other,
right?
And the wife is like, did you go to a strip club? Because what the hell is Confluence something or other, dude?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and the other issue is that it creates it creates returns and chargebacks where there are disputes. It may have been a legitimate purchase, but if you don't have the business name on there, then it's a poor customer experience. And everywhere else, you're treated in a certain way, except for the pot shop.
Right.
And so the other part of CanPay, right, it links to your checking account. There are no convenience fees or usage fees or back-end bank fees. There's no cost. It just like going to a restaurant, just like going to a retail store, it is the business that is taking on those fees and not pushing the cost off onto their customers. So anybody that accepts CanPay is doing so as a benefit to their customers so that they don't have to pay fees.
Right. Colorado Harvest Company has CanPay available. Instead of having you go downstairs to our ATM and get charged $2.25, which sometimes doubles to a $5 charge at your bank, we actually would much rather take that fee, dude. I think that that's a great way to do business, and that's how the cannabis business should be run.
That's right. And we think it's a differentiator for those dispensaries that are accepting CanPay because you're treating your customers in a much more normalized way, giving them the shopping experience that they're used to. When you have to go and there are other solutions where even if you ring it up at the point of sale, you're still paying those fees, bank fees, front-end convenience fees. I don't know why they call them convenience fees because they're really not. But, so we think that it gives those dispensaries that are going to accept CanPay a differentiator in a market where there are a lot of dispensaries.
It's kind of like back in the day, dude, when like you didn't have weed and like you called your buddy and you were like, "Hey, dude, do you have somebody?" And he'd go and introduce you, and then you'd pay him $2.25. There you go. Thanks, brother. No.
Right. Nowhere else do you have to pay other people a fee to pay them.
Right.
Unless it's something that is questionable about what you're doing. Right. And that's not this industry anymore. We understand why people have done that for a long time. I mean, there is, according to Visa and MasterCard, they prohibit cannabis transactions. There is no classification that allows you to process a medical or adult use recreational marijuana transaction. So any solution out there that's doing that has some, we'll call it a workaround to make that happen. And what that likely means is that someone in that chain doesn't know what it is. Right. And when that someone finds out, that solution goes away. So you've trained up your patients and customers to pay in a certain way. They come to expect that, and they get to the shop, and it's gone.
And it's
kind of like gray hat SEO.
Yeah.
Like as soon as Google finds out, it's done.
Totally.
Right. It's not the way you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. We appreciate creative solutions, but what we wanted to do was create an experience that was as close to the experience everywhere else that we possibly could and still be legitimate.
And transparency is the only way that our industry is going to be able to be ever considered legit.
That's right. That's right. This industry deserves it. Patients deserve it. It's the reason we got into this industry was because, we thought with the banking coming online and they were doing it for security reasons and for safety, right? If you've got a guy with a duffel bag at Walmart getting cashier's checks so that he can pay his vendors or whatever, it's unsafe for everybody.
Totally.
They should have banking.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, patients and consumers should not have to carry wads of cash into a dispensary.
Totally.
right? And
or
then
get charged at the point of sale.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then also we're actually able to, because we're a mobile app on both sides of the equation, we're actually able to facilitate delivery in states where it's legal. So we're decashing the delivery transaction as well in those states.
That's big.
And the patients love it. I mean, there's a reason that they're not leaving the house in those medical markets.
Yeah.
And so we're making that a much more
takes care of the
convenient.
safety huge style, dude, right there.
Yeah.
That's huge. How many states are you guys in now? 10?
So, well, we're working on 10 banking relationships. Not all of them are fully launched.
Right.
We're live in dispensaries and retail shops in 5 states right now.
Cool.
But expanding pretty quickly.
Cool.
Yeah.
CanPayApp.com. Very easy to be able to set up, dude.
Yeah.
Very easy to be able to
Yep.
set up.
Just go there on your phone, 4 or 5 minutes, one time, never pay another fee.
Very
All
cool.
right. Well, thanks for coming in, man. Safe travels
Thanks for having
tomorrow.
me.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, Dustin, excited. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
thank
Totally
you.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
All right.
We got 2 bands to get to.
Yeah, we got Captain Jack in a few minutes. Stick around.